I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting of the Libertarian Party of Pinellas County to order. Mr. Stevens, can you confirm quorum for us?
Mr. Chairman, I can confirm quorum.
Thank you so much. To begin, I would like to start off with member comments. This is a total allotment of 5 minutes. At the beginning of the meeting, we'll have a second one under agenda item number 11. That will also be 5 minutes. I do ask that any who do wish to address the body be brief, to also allow others within the 5-minute allotment at the beginning or the end. Mr. Colina, are you trying to let me know, or are you just cracking some knuckles?
I'm just cracking knuckles, sorry.
Okay, no worries. Just wanted to make sure I had it right. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move to the prior meeting minutes. Mr. Stevens, did you have anyone contact you about any minutes needing to be amended or adjusted?
No.
You did not. Fantastic.
All right. So if you didn't know, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir.
All of our previous minutes are on our website, pinellasLP.org. If you scroll over to the events tab, you can click down to meeting minutes. I'm going to summarize what we did in our general business meeting last month. This was Thursday, April 15th, 7 p.m. as usual. Quorum was present. Going through, our reaffiliation was confirmed to be complete with the state party, Pinellas County, and the state of Florida. So that's all good. Our first quarter financial report was submitted, and we started talking to a potential federal congressional House candidate for District 13, which is entirely within Pinellas County. Join our Slack, which is where we do a lot of our off-meeting discussion. There will be a link to that later and in all of our minutes. And we also discussed holding some sort of a, I'll say, booth or showing at the St. Pete Pride Festival, which we ultimately gave a decent no to due to circumstances with some tax stuff. And lastly, I would just like to shout out June 11th through 13 is the Libertarian Party of Florida State Convention at the Spring Hill Suites in Lakeland, Florida. That is about an hour-and-a-half east. I'll be there. It's a great event. If you're just getting into this kind of thing, it's a lot of fun. Our presidential ticket, Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen will be there. It's going to be a blast. And also we elect our state level officers. That's all I got.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I will move to approve.
You cannot, Mr. Secretary. You are the one who prepared them. Nice try, though. Thank you, Mr. Colina. I need a second in order to call a vote.
I'll second if I'm allowed to.
Yes, Mr. Kraft, you are. Having a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand in Zoom.
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. Item 5 on the agenda is officer reports. That starts with me. I've got my notes here. For the May disc from the Office of Elections from the state of Florida, we have 2,907 who are registered LPF. That netted us 39 new contacts added to the database. The website has now been updated to allow people to be added to that database of their own accord, rather than the way that it was set up before. On May the 4th, I received 86 contacts to the party since June of 2019, as people were trying to contact the party and were not added, or there were a few people that did weasel their way in. Myself, Jasmine, and Nate were among those that I noted. were in those contacts that were sent to the party. That has now been updated. We ended up with a net new contacts of 61 as a result. You probably heard in the minutes from Mr. Stevens that we were awaiting a letter from the state party to make us legit in the eyes of the omnipotent state. And we have received that letter and forwarded it on to the Secretary of State's office so that we can utilize the name Libertarian Party of Pinellas County and begin all of the fun stuff that Mr. Colina will be talking about in item number 6, not to be confused with the work that Mr. Colina will be talking about in his treasurer's report. I am open to any, the other thing that I wanted to do is update that I did meet with that congressional candidate, and he is here this evening, and I imagine he will probably want to speak during member comment later on, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on so far with his candidacy. And I also have 5 minutes on the agenda to discuss that meeting for those who may be interested. I have 3 minutes left in my allotment. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about my report. Hearing none, we would generally move on to Ms. Herrera, but as Mr. Colina advised, she is not available. So we will go ahead and move to Mr. Stevens to provide his report as well.
All right, thank you. So for social media, we had 1,000, I mistyped that number, 1,562 people reach, was up 78%. Oh, somebody joined. 292 post engagements and 9 new page likes. And then more importantly for county affairs, so things going on here in Pinellas County, two things of note. First, certain county commissioners, I don't want to lump them all in together, certain county commissioners amidst our current gas prices are considering raising the gas tax, which is currently at none, and it could be, as legally in the state of Florida, the county can levy up to 12 cents per gallon of regular gasoline and 6 cents per gallon of diesel. They're thinking about doing that. He said, the quote was, background, our roads are not being repaired very well because the state is really good at fixing our roads. So now they need more money to do it. So, quote, all options are on the table. And then more excitingly, the county has ended the mask mandate. So masks are voluntary in Pinellas County or mandated by a business, but obviously that. Important to note, technically we are still in a state of emergency that allows the county to allocate resources towards mass vaccination sites and that kind of thing. But I think that's to be expected. If you want to get the vaccine, please do. If you don't, that's on you. But that's big news. That's good. Masks are no longer mandated by the state and now not by the county. I can take a few questions in my time, or I can pass it on to our treasurer.
Hearing no questions from Mr. Stevens, Mr. Colina, the state of our treasury is a lot better than it has been, not only with our monthly donation, but also our recent Liberty Yoga Pay What You Can.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a pretty successful first outing with the yoga, which we did, of course, pay out part of that to the yogi. I think that's what they're called, right? Yogi?
That is correct. Yes.
That was good for us. You know, we were able to generate some new attention as well as some new revenue. Now that's going to reflect a little bit more in the May numbers, but for April numbers, and I think I do that later in item 7, right? So I'll touch on where we're at with the state. There really is no update from last month. The state is, of course, still in a pending review. So unfortunately, they were at the first or second week of April, and the documents that we submitted are still later on in the month. And so we're still in hold at this point. And Everything else I think I have as part of the treasurer report, which is item 7. So I'm going to see if anyone has any questions so far. Okay.
All right.
Any questions?
Hearing none, Mr. Kalina, you are our next one, and it's actually the paperwork filing update, which you share in the treasurer report.
Oh, so I did it backwards. All right.
Yeah.
Leave it to a libertarian to do everything the opposite of the instructions, right? So,
well, I just provide the roadmap. It's up to you to follow it.
Yeah, there you go. And my roads, right? So
Right.
for the treasurer report as of May 13th, our checking account the balance was of $2,901.75. PayPal $23.97 for a grand total of $2,925.72. We did have some expenditures. Again, the Zoom, which is $11.99. And then our total donations for the month of April via PayPal was $154.28. Any questions on the treasurer's report?
Hearing none, we can move on to item 7 on the agenda. And I actually mislabeled this as Mr. Kalina's agenda item. It is actually mine. For those who have been very attentive to the website prior to this meeting or on Facebook, we actually have an in-person event upcoming on June the 4th at 7 p.m. At 112th and Gulf. This is across from the Waffle House. It's the St. Petersburg Municipal Parking. In the beach just beyond that, we will be hosting a sunset social at 7 p.m. This is an all ages opportunity, so families are welcome because it will be outside. Those who wish to socially distance to remain COVID safe will be able to do so. And it is bring your own beverage, provided, of course, that it is not a keg and it is not a glass bottle per the city of Treasure Island. I want to go ahead and make sure that everyone is aware of that first in-person meeting. And that is, or not a meeting, I'm sorry, it is a social. But that would be the first one that we've been able to hold since our Thanksgiving get together in November of 2020. Does anybody have questions about the in-person social? I'm happy to answer those if there are.
Can I ask for an address more specific in the beach
No, sir.
across from? All right.
I can give you the cross streets. It's 112th Avenue and Gulf Boulevard, but there is no address for that municipal parking lot, but it is the only St. Petersburg parking lot in Treasure Island. All of the other TI parking lots are owned and operated by the city of Treasure Island. We chose that one because there are the most spaces. So it's the most accessible. It is a pay to play lot for those who wish to use it. There are other places to park. I will not suggest how to do that. It's up to you to figure it out on your own. The reason that we chose Treasure Island was because last year, when we did something similar, we did it in Dunedin in the north part of the county. So we thought, since we were bringing back in-person things, that we would do something in the southern part of the county. And so that is our very next in-person social. Beyond Mr. Stevens, any other questions? Hearing none, I will move on to agenda item number 8, which is kind of a summary of my meeting with a candidate for office who does happen to be here. For those who you may not have recognized, Frank Kraft Jr. It's important to note because he is a junior. So if you're doing any Google searching, make sure that you get the junior. He and I had the opportunity to meet. We discussed where what he's working on for his candidacy. For those who may be interested, he is going to need 2,567 verified signatures in order to appear on the ballot. That is 0.3% of the, see, now this is a reapportionment year. So he has the benefit of having a lower threshold, but we also have to figure out what that threshold is based on what state law is. So that was So for those who may be interested, it is 0.3% of the ideal district population, which is figured out by taking the entire census data population of the state of Florida and dividing it by the 28 congressional districts that Florida will have in the 2022 election, starting with the Congress that begins in 2023. If the signatures are not the way that he chooses to get on the ballot, there is a filing fee of $10,440. He is the beneficiary, like I noted, of the reapportionment reduction in signatures for what he needs. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of the monumental hump that has to be overcome in the first part of his campaign before he can actually really talk to voters about the issues. I imagine that he would like to utilize agenda item 11 for member comment. So if you have any questions for him, that's probably going to be the best time. Does anybody have any questions for me about the meeting that he and I had? Marcia, I can't hear you.
Oh, I thought I unmuted.
There you go.
Okay.
I got you.
Has he picked a particular position that he's going to run for?
He's running for Congress in District 13, which is we anticipate being housed entirely in Pinellas County as the current congressional District 13, the seat held by Representative Christ, is currently entirely within Pinellas County.
Okay, that's my district, I think. Good.
That would be everybody, almost everybody in this meeting's district.
Yeah, so can someone put his email up on the chat or something so we can write it down and get in touch with him?
Sure.
Because
Frank, would you like to do that in the chat?
Yeah, I had to switch over to my phone because my computer decided to do updates randomly, so I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll do that. You get Frank at frankcraft.com works.
There you go, Frank at frankcraft.com.
CRAFT.
Good. Anyway, my suggestion is we all pitch in and help him get the signatures.
That would be lovely, and I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Are there any other questions for me about my meeting with Mr. Kraft? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 9. Mr. Colina and I have been working diligently to find a suitable meeting place. We have quite a few restrictions that we're looking to meet. We don't want to meet in a chain. We would prefer to utilize the space of a local business. We would like to be able to be segregated from slightly, not, so that we don't have a whole bunch of people interrupting the meeting. We also have the need for Wi-Fi to be able to offer the remote participation that the January convention mandated in the bylaws. I have found one such location that does meet every one of those things. The only issue that I find is that it is in the southern part of the county, south of downtown St. Petersburg. And before I moved forward with this location, I wanted to see if that would be suitable, especially for those that are further north. This would be at Nueva Cantina, which is at 1625 4th Street South in St. Petersburg. So it is not only in the southern half of the county, but the southern half of St. Pete. So for those of you who are in the northern parts of the county, that could be quite a haul. But I wanted to make sure before I move forward that we kind of had a general sense that, because this is thus far the only location that Mr. Colina or myself have been able to verify has met all of the different requirements that we would have for an in-person meeting space, if that's suitable for especially the northern part of the county attendees. Marcia. You're muted, Marcia. There you go.
Okay. So I'm so painfully aware of how difficult it is to find a place. that even though I don't like to spend a lot of time on the road, I vote that we have it there. It's almost like having one meeting there would be like a pilot. And then ideally, those of us who are further north should simply carpool. And
That
I would.
we're actually, I just wanted to get a sense, especially from those from the northern parts of the county, Clearwater, northward, especially, if this was something that was a suitable meeting place before I moved to secure this as a meeting spot.
Well,
So there
what
wouldn't be a vote. It would just be a sense of, based on comments, if
Yeah,
that's suitable.
But there's so few of us at the meeting here. Would you consider sending a survey by MailChimp?
I don't know that I would necessarily have the time to get it out so that I would be able to secure the space and announce the meeting prior to our June meeting. It's the early part of the month for June. I think it would be the 18th. That's the third Thursday falls on. But that's something that if we need to for the northern part, I don't have the list segregated by northern versus southern part of the county. But that's something that I can put out there.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I live on St. Pete Beach, so that's not really far from me. I have to go up to Palm Harbor for work, so I know that's like a 45-minute, maybe an hour drive in rush hour traffic. But I think if we have like a suitable virtual option, I think
Well, we have remote participation is required. That is one of the things that it does meet, is it does have Wi-Fi available for us to offer a remote option for those who do not wish to make the drive.
Yeah, if we have a good remote participation option, I think we definitely want to get started with meeting in person again.
Here, here. Good.
And they have really good fajitas.
Ew, the food is excellent. That's actually how I came across them. All right, is there anybody else that wished to weigh in to give a sense of whether that would be a suitable location? Hearing and seeing none, I'll go ahead and move on to item number 10. This is the most fun for me, are the announcements. We have the upcoming leadership team meeting. They fall generally the last Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. This month, that would be May the 26th. On June the 6th at noon, we have Liberty Yoga once again. You heard from Mr. Kalina about the financial impact for the party. I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to continuing to do it. Sarah did a fantastic job. She's very much looking forward to continuing and eventually moving it to an in-person offering. But for now, it's going to remain virtual only. You do not have to have your camera on for those who are concerned that they may not be the most flexible or they may not showcase the greatest yoga stretches. That's not something that it's there for. It's there for you to just be active and for you to kind of get some of those benefits. As Mr. Stevens noted, the state convention is upcoming, June the 11th through the 13th at the Spring Hill Suites in Lakeland, Florida. We did, as a result of the state convention taking place at the same time as our normal coffee talk, we moved our June coffee talk from the 12th, which would be the second Saturday, which is when we normally hold it, to the 19th. We will be hosting Hesham El Maliji from Muslims for Liberty. He'll be talking about where that organization fits within the Liberty movement. If there is someone that you would like to have me reach out to about being someone that we host for our coffee talks, please do shoot me an email. It's chair@pinellasLP.org for those of you who have not had the opportunity to do so. Or you can hit reply to any of the messages that come that do not specifically say that they came from Jasmine, Nate, or Camilo. Then they will come to me directly in my inbox. And as Mr. Stevens also noted, we do have a Slack conversation that is ongoing in between meetings to provide a transparent operation of what's happening with the party. There are multiple channels to join. There you can view and participate in all of the conversations. However, the leadership team channel is reserved for the active communication to only be the elected officers of the affiliate. Everyone can view it, but that channel, we're asking for you to please leave it specifically to the elected officers of the affiliate for anything that takes place in there. Agenda item number 11, unless anybody has any questions about those announcements, I'm sorry. Hearing and seeing none. Agenda item number 11, we'll come back to member comment. Again, remember this is 5 minutes allotted for the entirety. This is our second member comment of the evening. We had the one right after we confirmed quorum. If I know that Mr. Kraft wanted to speak, I believe. Is there anybody else wishing to speak in member comment this evening? Marcia, okay, I'll have you after Frank. Anybody else? All right, Frank, the floor is yours, keeping in mind that this would need to end by 7:38 for all who wish to participate.
Sounds good. Nice to meet y'all. You run a tight ship on these meetings. But yeah, so I'm throwing my hat in for the run for the House. You know, the House has abdicated its responsibility and just has been given the executive branch just whatever they want. It doesn't matter. They did it during Trump. They're doing it now. So what I'm trying to do is get in, just get out of the fray and see if we can accomplish some meaningful things by just not getting involved in the partisan back and forth. I will be at the state convention just on Friday. I'm going to be talking during the candidate thing that happens on Friday evening. Unfortunately, I can't stay beyond that. It's my son's birthday party the next day, so all the Libertarian events seem to be scheduled on either mine or my son's birthday. But I guess I'll leave it there unless people have questions. I don't want to monopolize the floor, but maybe I'll see everybody at the sunset.
Are there any questions for Mr. Kraft before we move on to Marcia? Seeing and hearing none. Marcia, we got about 3.5 minutes left of the member comment.
Okay, and then now I could talk about something else later after we officially end the meeting, am I right?
After we've adjourned, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I'd like to say now is put in a plug for attending the convention, because since I started in 2013, I've hardly missed any conventions, either state or national. And I just find it very, very important, enlightening, inspiring, et cetera, et cetera. So, and also, I think I'd like to drive up Friday night, but actually stay all night. Is anyone else going and might want to share a room? Like who all of the people here tonight are planning to go to Lakeland to the convention?
For me, I would only be there for the business meeting on Saturday.
So Nate, are you going up Friday night?
I'm staying the full weekend. However, I am already sharing a room with a friend of mine from Jackson.
Okay, well, good for you. Anyone else looking for a possible room sharing thing? Okay, so if not, then I'll just keep promoting. But like I say, yeah, I have, just so you know, more than once, I have arrived at a convention and then found a roommate. Even at a national convention, I had someone just say to the whole convention, someone's looking for a roommate, you know, contact Marcia, and it always worked. So don't let things like that stop you. But actually, I drove up to the Orlando area last Saturday, and Lakeland is about, what, an hour and 15 minutes, I think, from my house in Clearwater. So people
I make the drive frequently. It takes me an hour and 6 minutes door to door from where I arrive in Lakeland.
There you go. Okay, that's all I'll say for now.
All right. Is there anybody else seeking to be recognized for member comment? Seeing and hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the business portion of the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
All right,
Second.
Mr. Stevens, seconded by Mr. Kalina. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand through Zoom.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, hearing none, the motion passes and we are adjourned to socialize.